Hello and welcome everyone to Twin Flames, the Great Spiritual Awakening podcast, where every week you can hear real life stories from people who answered the call of divine love. My name is Dennis. I'm your host and a certified Ascension coach with Twin Flames Universe. And I've been on my Twin Flame journey for a couple of years now. And thanks to the teachings of union, found my true Twin Flame that I'm living in union with. For our episode today, I am very happy to welcome here with me Fabian, a Master Certified Ascension Coach with Twin Flames Universe. Hi Fabian, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you for being here. You are actually Jeff and Shalia's longest standing student.
That's true.
And for me, I was thinking, for me, you've always been kind of this solid rock in the community. You've always been there. And I can't even imagine you not being there because you're just one of the originals, so to say. And you've also been a live Twin Flame Ascension School and Life Purpose class student. And you were also actually the first person to bring Jeff and Shalia's teaching into the German-speaking world. So we have an abundance of things we can talk about today.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's always great to have, people that that you can trust on the journey. And I am happy that I can be that person for some. And obviously, I also have people in our community that serves the same purpose for me.
Mm-hmm. That's really nice. So how did the Twin Flame journey actually start for you? Where did all of this begin?
That is a great question. And I think the biggest event was that I practiced personal development for a few years because I desired to experience more success, including success with women. Right? I was a teenager and I wanted to be cool and popular. And, as a boy, you really want to be successful with girls.
Mm-hmm.
So I experienced not being so successful with girls at the time. And that was interesting because I used to be extremely popular, right? But there were some shifts happening when I became a teenager. And I became more secluded, more inner focused, and I experienced, I would desire more success there with women. Yeah, and then I Googled online, right? I was like, I have girl problems. And you know what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was in Google searching on a computer from my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and they saw that in the search history.
Oh man.
And then they confronted me with it. Hey, Fabian, do you have a minute? Do you have any problems? And I was like, no. Do you have any problems with, let's say, girls, And I was like, no. So I excused myself, didn't feel like having that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But in the back of my mind, I was already searching and learning and stumbled upon success, formulas that were supposed to bring me that success.
Mm-hmm.
But, it only got me so far. I reached a bottleneck eventually.
Mm-hmm. And what happened then? How did you go from that to then coming across twin flames and finding
Right.
Jeff and Shalia?
I never really experienced satisfaction, and I was lacking something. I was empty inside. And I think a lot of people can actually resonate with that experience. So I was looking for answers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I searched for spiritual ideas more. And then I stumbled upon these shaman retreats
Mm-hmm.
that supposedly can help you find your true calling, your true life purpose. And while I signed up for it, I was really a full-time pickup artist, right? Someone who interacts with women in order to, learn to become better with women. And so I think this is also interesting to know for, people listening in or watching, that this shaman retreat program was, based on the ayahuasca ceremony, which is basically a drink, you drink, and then you receive visions. I do not recommend it. I would not recommend it. But this is part of my journey, so I have to share.
Of course.
But I did receive visions. And I saw myself.
Oh, God, I was just about to ask, what did you see?
I saw myself on a beach. And then I looked behind me, and there was the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. And then next to her was a little girl. And it felt like home. It felt like my wife and daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And in that same moment, I experienced this word coming into my mind, twin soul flame.
Wow.
Never heard it before. And that was the moment my twin flame journey really began in 2015.
Wow. It's really crazy. And then did you go ahead and like Google twin flames, or what did you do with that information you received?
That is exactly what I did. I was like, all right, can I go home now? Right? And then arriving home, I immediately began searching. And what I found is some weird coaches and weird books that could not really help me at first. There's so much that happened. There's so much that shifted. I really experienced a dramatic shift within a few days from that insight. I approached this quest for more clarity with an attitude of, I do desire to be successful in a material sense still, right? I do want to have beautiful women around me and riches. But since that insight, I shifted my focus to a more spiritual sense. I really could see that it is about union at the core. And so I placed union first from that moment.
And then how did you, when did Jeff and Shalia come into the picture?
Yeah, so I traveled, right? At that time, I went through a false twin flame experience. And I was like, I'm getting to Jeff and Shalia in a second, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, this is my dream woman. And she's out there. And she was traveling around the world, you know. So I joined her, and we traveled in Nepal and India.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I need to take a loan, a credit, you know. I canceled everything in Germany. My job, I canceled. I canceled my studies at university. I canceled my apartment. And I, you know, packed my little bag and flew to India, where more insights happen. India is an amazing place for, you know, spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And it never really worked with my false twin flame, especially regarding these false information from false teachers. But then I eventually found Jeff and Shalia on YouTube. This one magical day. And, you know, from that moment on, I felt like they are different. They have something real here. So leading to that, I practiced with a few twin flame coaches. They were offering free consultations usually, right? And it so happened that Jeff and Shalia also offered free consultations, showing off their beautiful brand new car. It was a Subaru Outback in white at that time. And they were themselves, they were real. They even fought on camera. Never seen before. I felt it. I felt that there's something real here. And then we scheduled our consultation. I desired to learn and practice English. I was always very nervous communicating in English. So there were multiple purposes to that, right? But Jeff was incredible, and I think we chatted for like 30 minutes, around 30 minutes. I have this first conversation recorded, and it's like a beautiful little token, you know, like a little nugget for me. And yeah, I guess, you know, the rest is kind of history.
You became, was that also the time when you, like, Twin Flame Ascension School wasn't existing at that point yet, I believe. So how did you start working with them one-on-one, or what did you do next after you found them and you were clear in your heart, okay, they have the truth and they can really help me?
Yeah, you know, I was like, what is my life purpose, you know? And Jeff was basically in that free consultation, that is your life purpose. And I was like, it is. And he solved my biggest mystery in like a few minutes, right?
What did he tell you?
Learn more about love and teach it.
Mm.
yeah, and then, you know, he asked me, so do you want to work with me? And I was like, yeah, probably, let me think about it. At the time, I was like very reluctant to spending any money for that kind of stuff. And it was almost like impossible for me at the time to do it. Like that wasn't me at that time, you know? And then he asked me again, so you want to work with me? And I was like, I mean, I feel it very strongly. I definitely want to. So why do I keep holding on to this little rule I have put in place? Released it, and then I sign up for more one-on-one coaching. And there he helped me with my life purpose and my twin flame journey.
And when did all of that transform into Twin Flame Ascension School and Life Purpose class?
I think it was a couple of weeks, maybe 10 weeks, 12 weeks. And I remember him messaging me, hey, Fabian, how would you feel if we started group coaching? I wasn't convinced. I desired this one-on-one time. And I sent him like 10 bullet points on why group coaching is not a good idea. And he spoke to each of them and revealed the truth there. It was never different. You know, Jeff and Julia always loved perfectly. And then I was like willing to admit the truth and sign up for group coaching. They were running different classes. One was led by Shalia and one was led by Jeff.
Interesting. That was before the recording, right?
Yes. These ran for like 3 months, I believe. And then the recorded classes, as we know them, began.
And during the entire span of the recorded classes, because that was a long time, like we're talking about a bit over 2 years, there's a total of just TFA's 450 recorded classes, but obviously like the 3 classes per week, and you were in one of them every week. What was that like over this entire time of 2 years to be part of that class and just be on this journey with everyone and create this kind of like eternal huge like product that now people, you know, that's like how people are accessing the teaching nowadays. I mean, even back then while it was recorded, but that's like Twin Flame's universe. It's like Twin Flame Ascension School.
Yeah, it felt really good. I felt a big shift in energy when this began. I felt my life had more purpose. And I remember the night that classes began, I was extremely excited because I felt at a soul level, if you will, that they were special. And I remember taking this shower before the first class, you know, and just feeling a lot of good downloads happening. And then in that first class, I felt really transported forward into a better place. And then these following weeks and months and years, they really, you know, grounded deeper. It felt like being on a special team, on a special mission. like, playing soccer every day, going to practice with your best friends that you can really rely on, that you go through thick and thin together with. And, you get to know each other really carefully. And then it's always the reward of the week to show up to live classes after all of these blocks have been overcome. And then, surprise, more blocks are going to be overcome. More success, I think.
And during this time, you mentioned earlier that you had a false twin flame experience, and also during TFAS and Life Purpose class, like while all of that recording happened, you were still having this false twin flame experience and working through that, believing that's your true twin flame. So I have two questions to this. For one, what was like your big lesson, or like what you learned from your false twin flame experience, that like why you manifested that, or like the lesson it taught you? And also, what was how do you feel you changed as a person in this time of being in TFAS and LPC during this 2-year phase?
Yeah, beautiful question. I believe that my false twin flame taught me one thing primarily, which is persistence. And focusing on the path and the vision. Let me explain. So the universe showed me this person as my twin flame. And there were many other beautiful women surrounding me, including my true twin flame. But I was trusting that vision I saw. And no matter how difficult, no matter how challenging it became with the false twin flame, I did not quit. There were many instances where I was like, this can't be my twin flame. It's not working. It's not moving forward. I'm doing so much. However, sometimes you have to go really deep, right? You have to really go and conquer these deeper blocks. And that really built faith for me. So it was persistence and really trusting the path, trusting God's direction.
Were faith and persistence something that came to you easily, or something that was very challenging for you in the beginning?
I think I had a bit of a foundation already, and I could build upon that foundation. But each journey is designed perfectly for you. So wherever you are, you will be nurtured from there to where you need to go. But yeah, other than that, there was something else you asked me on the transformational experience, right, in classes. And before that, I just want to emphasize that another major takeaway from my false twin flame experience is that, choosing to love no matter what. There were times when this person told me that, hey, we are not twin flames, please move on. And I always remained respectful and humble about it. But I also trusted the vision that I received.
Mm-hmm.
No. In my heart, I know that there is something here, that there's a deeper connection here. And so I remained like with her, and I, held space,
Mm-hmm.
offered relationship to her, invited her to my life. And then a little later, down the road, my true twin flame was revealed, right? And all of that, of course, was this transformational experience that was really woven together into something beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, I became more mature, I would say, and more peaceful, safe. I feel safe. I feel really good with life. I feel like I can get whatever I want. It's just a process to move through.
Was it easy for you back then when your fourth twin flame was revealed as a fourth twin flame to release her? Was that kind of
Yes.
like, okay, she's a fourth twin flame, let's just move on?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, actually, yes. I remember Jeff messaging me. He told me, like, grab some popcorn, I'm going to call you in a few, Always the best messages to receive. And then I was called by Jeff and Shulia that night. And, oh, by the way, the weeks prior, I had an amazing time with my true twin flame. And they asked me then on the call, so Fabian, what if your person that you consider as your twin flame is not your twin flame? Paula was her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if Paula is not your true twin flame? Let's just let her go. Even if she was your true twin flame, you would still be connected. And I was like, sure, letting her go. And at the same time, I was like hoping for my true twin flame to be my true twin flame. I was like, oh, God, please. I hope it's Marie-Sophie, And so I released Paula, and then they asked me, so is there any other person that could be your twin flame, And I felt so much raw, and I tried to play it cool. I was like, not sure. And I was like, my heart is like, Marie-Sophie, And I think there was a moment when we both knew that this was very clear to Jeff and Shulia and to me. And then I was like, I think it may be her.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went deeper with that. And then I claimed her as my twin flame and visited her, right, that night. And what followed was one of my most beautiful experiences, followed by one of my most challenging experiences.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to share about that?
Yeah, of course, sure. I do desire to tell how much I enjoyed this time with Marie-Sophie at the time. We traveled together and it was just amazing. We were talking every day, really good Ascension buddies, and I was like already planning on moving in with her under the under the disguise, basically, of being ascension bodies and supporting each other in inner work, kind of, so that she can be with her twin flame and I can be with my twin flame more quickly. So I was very relieved when she was revealed. I visited her that same night. She was asleep. So I relaxed, tried to sleep a bit in my car, meditated. In the morning, she messaged me back and we had a little call. And then I revealed it to her. And then she was like, wow, I cannot believe it. There was like so much joy in it and a little bit of doubt still, right? And then she insisted on going to work first. So I remained peaceful, did my inner work. And then around noon, we finally met. And I remember seeing her. She looked beautiful. And it was a very different vibe now, because that good friend of mine is now suddenly my twin flame. Right? So I looked at her differently and she looked at me differently. We had a good time together from that moment on. We got closer and snuggled a bit and shared dinner together. And we were really supported by this community and by Jeff and Julia. They had multiple calls with us. They were standing by on Facebook Messenger 24/7 to support. And I crossed the threshold into Harmonious Twin Flame Union, even only for a few days. But it was real. It was amazing. And this is an understatement. It's really a shift. It's a big shift. And it's like life is turning from gray to now you can see color. It's the best way I can describe it. First time I felt really at home. Yeah, and the memory remains. I already prefaced it, which was like the most challenging time happened after. Well, and now you can already imagine that we fell out of Harmonious Twin Flame Union because we tried to hold on to our old life. Big lesson. And from that moment on, things shifted a bit. I gained some more space to heal, to focus on my healing. And we took space from each other. And now we are slowly, not slowly, but patiently moving through each lesson as it arises. We are still giving each other space. And it is space for us to grow into our divine self. And when we are ready, that light within is going to lead us to each other again. And I can say this with confidence and peace, and I'm very reassured here. I can really relax on this path and journey, knowing that success is guaranteed.
What do you feel like since you fell out of Harmonious Union? What do you feel is the lesson you've been working on?
Humility, surrender, like not trying to hold on to something, not trying to be right about something, really surrendering to God there and to truth, and to open up to love, to really love, to be with love, and to let go of the old, to be present with love, and get out of my little comfort zone, my little shell, Also really respecting this work and the gift of this work and the twin flame connection in general. Man, it feels good to share here. It feels good to talk about, very healing. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Where do you feel you are at today when it comes to, just healing the lessons that you've been healing since that happened with your twin flame?
I feel I am learning every day, recovering in a way. However, things are not going to be the same. This was a big insight for me. I tried to just pretend that nothing happened, I tried to just return to this place again without anyone noticing what happened. However, it is critical to be honest and to be transparent, especially with yourself, about what is happening. And so I am dealing with a lot of foundational lessons at the moment, and I have been. So I'm building a foundation that can remain eternally rather than crumble. And I'm taking time to get this one right. But I can feel that a few of these lessons are concluding, and I can really feel that the energy is shifting, and I feel ready to be with my twin flame again, to claim her again, to claim her specifically every day. And I'm doing that with everything that I'm doing. But it's always so nice to claim your twin flame specifically. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your journey with all of us.
Yeah, thank you for, giving me space to do so.
You're very welcome. I want to dive a bit into another area with you, which is your life purpose, because I do want to get a chance to ask a couple of questions about that as well. And as I mentioned in the beginning, you were the first person to introduce Jeff and Shlia's teaching to the German-speaking world. So yeah, I would love to hear about how that happened, how that was for you, whether it was, I guess, like scary or intimidating in the beginning, and also how you felt in the beginning that the teaching and you sharing it was received by the German-speaking world?
I have to share one thing.
Mm-hmm.
One day, Jeff told me, Fabian, it is time to go on YouTube to create the first video. You may already know this one, but
I've heard this one before, but go ahead. I think most people listening probably don't.
Yeah. So at the time, I was so cautious. I don't want anyone to find out what I'm doing. This spirituality, twin flames, things were different a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And well, Jeff asked me to share my first YouTube video on Facebook with all my friends and family members, potentially seeing it. And, you know, I created the video. It was amazing. So much fun to do it. I remember sitting in my garden, you know, beautiful weather, just creating this video. And then I tried to share it in a way that no one could see it. So I shared it in the middle of the night on a weekend day. You know, deep into the Saturday night, I wanted to share this post. And then by Sunday morning, it would have disappeared in the depths of Facebook. So I thought the opposite happened. Long story short, everyone saw it. Everyone knew it from the time. And a few days after, we had high school reunion. And they all were like, what is Fabian doing? Did you watch the video? What was it? What did he talk about? What happened? You know? And people looked at me differently there, but I was like, all right, now I jumped into the water and now I'm free. So to answer your question, after this incident, it was relatively easy to conquer the German market and, you know, conquer in a sense that here we had twin flame advice that was not aligned with truth. Mm-hmm. And there was some resistance here, stiff resistance to accepting and opening up to this new and higher awareness. And this was the time where I posted videos on the basics, shared about the basics, the mirror exercise, and it felt amazing. And a lot of times it was challenging to really confront ego. But when I felt like this is too uncomfortable, I went into my comfort zone in our very nice safe haven with Jeff and Shalia, and I received nurturing. And then I went out into the new territory again. And shortly after, I was joined by excellent people, you know, and one of them being you and your twin flame.
Thank you very much. We haven't done that many videos, but yeah, we have a Twin Flames Universe German YouTube account by now, and like the group is growing, and it's definitely been developing over the last couple of years since you actually brought it into being.
It's beautiful to see that, and I feel like a new energy is coming up right now with live events again. Mm-hmm. So that will be absolutely amazing to meet in person.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. So with you, like what you've been an Ascension coach now for a couple of years, and I'm wondering, was that something that, like, you know, before diving into spirituality, like you studied psychology from what I know, and mm-hmm. as you mentioned earlier, that's like when you quit to go to India and all of that, I believe. So did you finish your psychology university?
Right. So I paused my studies.
Gotcha.
I did play it a little bit safe. I did not plan on concluding the study, and I was about to cancel it. Mm-hmm. And then Jeff gave me the homework in a class to finish my psychology studies. And I did.
Okay.
I'm happy I did.
Yep, I understand. I'm in the same shoes. I have my last third of stuff to conclude with my studies, but yeah, it's always good to conclude something like that when you start. But yeah, to go back to my question, was being an Ascension coach, like helping people on the spiritual path, was that something that, like, before you found Twin Flames Universe, something that you imagined ever doing, that, went into the direction of what you thought you would do with your life? Or did it come as a complete surprise?
I did see myself as a public speaker, as a coach, but in a different context of self-development.
Mm.
So I did not expect myself to share about spirituality, or talk about love. Not that kind of love, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm positively surprised. Yeah, it's a steep upgrade.
Mm-hmm. Nice to hear. And you, a couple of years after, you also became a MAP practitioner. And for everyone who's listening, who doesn't know what MAP stands for, the Mind Alignment Process, which is a trauma healing technique developed by Jeff and Shalia to specifically heal trauma. And yeah, you became a MAP practitioner. And my question for you with that is, what is life like as a MAP practitioner? What changed for you? And also maybe what changed in how you approach your inner work? If something changed, of course.
Life as a MAP practitioner is very peaceful and grounded. It is about paying attention to the foundation, getting enough rest and healthy meals, and getting out there for a walk in nature. And this really is an amazing gift to have, because I can approach my inner work with a new tool at my disposal, which is healing trauma. But however, the mirror exercise also does it for you in a different way, right? I always say that the mirror exercise heals you layer by layer, and eventually you reach the core. Mm-hmm. And the mind alignment process solely focuses the core, only resolves the core issue completely, and then all of the stuck emotions on top of that core trauma are going to be naturally released in the following days and weeks after you receive the healing with MAP. Mm-hmm. Does it answer your question?
It absolutely does. And I'm also wondering, what was it initially that made you decide to train to become a MAP practitioner?
I think it was based on my success with MAP and compassion. Because I suffered from trauma all life. Flight anxiety, social anxiety, and panic attacks. Not easy, right? But I moved through MAP, the healing program, as a normal client. And since then, no more panic attacks ever happened.
Wow.
And my journey in the airplane to New York, I think at the time, was a breeze. It was like, wow, never felt so relaxed. Mm. And then I was like, I can't keep that for myself. I have to share it. And on top of that, MAP feels amazing. Mm-hmm. If you are in touch with MAP, the MAP consciousness feels absolutely beautiful.
Yep. It's like what I've always found so incredible about MAP, because I've had 3 MAP rounds by now. So I've had my experience with it, and very similar to you, it's been extremely life-changing. And what I've always found so incredibly remarkable is like even before you have your MAP session and you sign up to go through the MAP program, like the moment you make the choice to claim your healing with MAP, you already start feeling the shift because you're connecting and entering into a relationship with that consciousness. And you can already feel how it's starting to heal you even before the session itself. So that was such a cool thing.
I agree. I remember that as well. I think it's about the choice that you make. Mm-hmm. As soon as you sign up and you book that session, even the welcome consultation, you make a new choice in your life. You choose to live life free from trauma. Mm-hmm. And you immediately feel the effect of that choice, that peace washing over you. I read a post just a few days ago from a person reporting exactly that. I signed up for my free MAP consultation, the welcome consultation, and I experienced peace washing over me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's how it happens. And also at this point, for everyone who's listening, if you want to check out MAP, the website is mindalignmentprocess.org. That's where you find all the information, and you can also sign up for a consultation. Or if you're working with an Ascension coach, you can talk with your Ascension coach about MAP, because I believe all of us were giving out free sessions when you sign up for MAP through an Ascension coach. So talk with your Ascension coach about that if you have one. And if not, go to twinflamesuniverse.com and get one, since you already had it. So yeah, Fabian, for you, what are the next steps for you in your life purpose? Do you have any plans, any projects you're currently working on? What's going on there and in the near future?
I desire growing with MAP, taking on more clients now. I also desire to expand more into live events for my Ascension coaching business and partner with other coaches together and really bring this teaching out there to the people that desire it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, then I am actually nearing my last question for you, which is, if you could go back to the beginning of your journey, those 6 years ago, and give that version of yourself a message or a piece of advice, what would that be?
Give me a second here. This is a deep question.
Absolutely. Take your time.
So what I would say to myself is to relax and trust the process. Amongst other things, I would also say, like, hey, keep going. This is the right direction. Definitely keep going. This is a door for you. Go through that door. Stay there. Explore it. Experience it. Try it on. How do you feel about it? Right? Get to know it. Get to know the work. But ultimately, really trusting the process and not quitting. And not taking things too seriously. Some things are definitely to be taken seriously for them to reach you and to create change. But now at the deeper core, at the deeper level, that this journey is very safe. And that everything happening is designed to lead you closer to love and to your twin flame. This is the sole purpose. As soon as you sign up to your twin flame journey, everything happening from now on is designed and divinely orchestrated to serve only that purpose, to bring you closer to love, to God.
Mm-hmm. Chef and Shilia always say, the moment you claim your harmonious union, in truth, you already have it. And then you're just working through the process, through the blocks to manifest it and reach that vibration and have it in the physical. So it's already given to you the moment you claim it.
Yes, very, very true, very beautiful.
Thank you for bringing that point up. I just added in my own words, but that was very powerful what you said. And yeah, thank you for bringing that up. And that was a very beautiful closing statement, closing message too. So yeah, I want to thank you a lot for being here with me today and sharing your journey and everything that you shared really.
Thank you so much for having me here. And thank you so much, everyone, for listening in and joining us.
Absolutely. And also for everyone, if you want to hear Twin Flame Separation, then I invite you, as always, to go over to twinflamesuniverse.com, where I really recommend signing up for the free introduction course that we have, which is a really beautiful and amazing course that really gives you the information, also exercises to get familiar with the teachings of union, get a grasping of how everything works and how you can be successful on your twin flame journey, and then dive deeper with the rest of the products we have at Twin Flames Universe. And yeah, otherwise, I wish all of you much success on your journey, and we will be back next week with another episode.